up, my loves? It's your girl Diamond. I'm back with my all new review of Married to Medicine. So we see Quad and Simone meet up for lunch, just talking about how Quad has bought a new home. She moved her nephew and her mother in. It's an adjustment period, but it's also really fun. Mason is calling the shots. He wants to know, where's Auntie Quad? Who is Auntie Quad with? Let me know if Auntie Quad is on her way home. All that and then some, right? And just seeing her happy, smiling. And then we talk about Simone's son, Miles. He has his first long-term girlfriend. And it was cute bicker going back and forth about how to say the girl's name, either Andrea or Andrea. I was like, come on, y'all. We can't do this. Then we see Toya. She has Contessa over for some girl time. Toya is putting some beautiful flowers in a vase. She bought them for herself. It's her way of moving forward in her self-care journey. You know, even though my husband does make me happy, he makes me smile, but I like doing things for myself to make me happy too. Contessa thought that Toya's definition of self-care was flying lavishly, going to exotic places, fancy cars, fancy clothes. I thought your whole entire life was all about self-care. But I also can see maybe it's not just the clothes, the shoes. It's also about being in touch with yourself. It's being in touch with what you like. You know, while buying clothes, cars, jewelry does make me happy, other things make me happy too. You know, and then of course, I just don't like the fact that people come down on Toya for the fact that she doesn't have anything for herself as far as we know. But I do believe that Toya is worth more than just being a doctor's wife, and that's how she's felt. She's felt that she doesn't get respect by being a doctor's wife. You have no knowledge. You're just a girl who lucked up and married a doctor. And that's how the other girls have made her feel. But talking about how Eugene needs to have an outlet for him to make himself happy. He's a workaholic, but he's working for a legacy for his boys. And Heavenly talking about how Eugene acts like a woman, how he's in touch with his feminine side. Heavenly would not find it funny if they said Dr. Damon acts like a female or he's always in female's business. She would not find it funny, and she should be careful of coming at people's marriages when we can't come at hers, because she's been careful of not talking about her marriage, but we can see the cracks and we can see the insecurities though. But realizing that that has also hurt Toya's feelings, that's where Contessa gets revved up to have an intervention for Heavenly, because once everything is out there on the YouTube, it's out there forever, and the intervention is needed. Toya is down for it because she knows how mean Heavenly can be. And they call Simone, want to know what does she think about the idea. She's all for it, you know what I'm saying? But she knows that Heavenly is not going to give a damn. She's not going to care. She's going to give a fake apology and do it all over again. But we're going to see how this works out. So then we see Jackie. It was a conversation about a woman who's 37 weeks and she's concerned about her delivery, about where the placenta is. If it's not straight, it can lead to complications, and what do I do? So talking about the mortality rate of African American women dying in childbirth has increased. So she wants to know, if you're feeling any pain, let the doctors know, and they will let you know how you're feeling and what you should do. So she wants them to have all the knowledge in the world to advocate themselves, to know you've asked all the questions, they've listened to you, and that you can secure yourself a safe delivery. To correct the statistics of the mortality rate of black women dying in childbirth. And it's extremely sad to hear that number, because doctors ignore a patient telling them, I am feeling pain, this don't feel right. They just write it off like it's not what it is, and then a baby dies or a mother dies. And they be like, I told you and you didn't listen. So we need to fix that. Anila has a conversation with her children about Miss Gomez not working there anymore. It is her last day, and she's not coming back. So then her youngest son says, who's going to make my pinto beans? Anila said, I can make your pinto beans. Can you make them like Miss Gomez? No, but I can try. So Miss Gomez has been a part of their kids' lives ever since her daughter was small and she was pregnant with their son. It's been 5 years now. And it was really sweet for them to hug her. They develop a relationship with her. And it is a lot to consider someone that you trust wholeheartedly with your children. But I also feel like it's really coming down on Anila and Kieran that they have to go back to being parents. Y'all forgot y'all were parents because y'all had help. And they're packing her car. Anila saying, you can keep the car seat if you want to come back. And is there anything I can do to change your mind? Anila, stop begging this woman to take care of children that you birthed. She is not a step-in mother for you. You are their mother. You step in and do what you're supposed to do, okay? So the kids start crying. They're pulling off the driveway. And I felt like once the kids were crying, Anila and Kira didn't know what to do. And now next episode, we're going to see Anila going to run herself rapid about what to do with her own children. Because she was like, oh my God, where can I blog? What could I do? Anila, you have just the amount of free time in the world like Toya do to make sure you come up with a schedule for your kids to do school, for you to do some work, and for you to be able to have a balance. I do not want to hear Anila constantly complain about how she don't have time to blog when all she does is stay at home. I don't want to hear that from her. Because this is now a time for you to get reacquainted with your children. A nanny is supposed to be there for you to help out when you cannot do it. But they're not supposed to take over your whole job entirely. Don't be like Brooks, Caroline Brooks off of House of Dubai, where she lets her nanny tuck in her son. That's not her job. Don't do that. But anyway, so Toya and Eugene, he's heading out to work. They talk about him doing clinical shifts post-pandemic. While he's not making director money, but he's making it up for extra shifts of doing clinical. And they have small talk about him feeling drained. He's sinking. He doesn't know what to do. So she's like, I'm all about my self-care. What do you find yourself happy about? He don't know what he finds happy because last year, COVID was a lot, and it was a lot on them, a lot on emergency doctors, physicians, and everything. It was scary. The adrenaline rush that they were going through, it was like, wow, what happened, And we saw how Eugene was definitely tired, definitely drained, definitely burnt out of dealing with that, Being so close to death terrified him. And now that COVID has gotten handled, a lot of physicians are getting out of traditional medicine because they're burnt out. They want to find something else. They don't want to deal with this. This is like a cloud of death around them. They want something else to make them happy, And while he loves being in emergency medicine, he wants to find another outlet. Toya agrees with him trying to find someone to make him happy. He wants to diversify his work. Let me find another field of work that I like, but also I can make money off of. And I'm like, that's really fun to do. I love that. And he just never thought he'll get burnt out. Never thought he would. And it's just kind of like, wow. So the age of him retiring is getting lower and lower. He thought 65, but now it's 55 and 45. Like, he's ready for this shit to be done. I'm tired of working. I'm tired of dealing with this, and I'm not mad at him for it, okay? So Simone. Simone has a meetup with a good time friend, Omarosa, to get her input on the book that her and Cecil wants to do for their relationship, And they've known Omarosa for years, before she was in Trump Towers. And they don't cut people off of political affiliation. There were a time when you would mention her name, they will have to pretty much explain down why she's a good person, regardless of her political beliefs. So they want to know, what is the book about? Like, is this a memoir? Is it relationship advice? It's a relationship advice. So they're trying to get a handle on combining their opinions on the book, because they have 25 years of marriage under their belts. They know all about the 1-year itch, the 5-year itch, the 10-year itch, the 15-year itch. They know it all. And what advice would you give people to buy the book? What would you start off with? So Cecil talked about him being in a working class family, living in South Central, and also having his parents divorced. Simone also came from a divorced family, and that they beat the odds of not having divorce carry on into their relationship. They stuck it out when it got to that point, which is good, though. It's understandable how you can get to that point but say, no, we're going to keep on trying, we're going to keep on going. So they're going to commit to putting enough hours to commit to the book. Contessa, we are prepared for the intervention, where Contessa wears this light pastel purple wig, saying she wants to give Storm tease. Okay, I said that's not giving Storm. That's giving Lala Loopsy. You know what? That's giving oh my God, what's that show called on Nickelodeon? Lazy Town, if I'm saying it right. I think it's called Lazy Town. I can't remember. That's what the color was. I'm probably getting the show wrong. And the only person who knows why this is happening is Toya and Simone. She kept the message vague. Come to my house for a movie night. She got Scott out of the house and the kids, okay? So the whole point of this intervention was to let Heavenly know you have hurt your friends. And you need to understand why you've hurt your friends. So this is Contessa's rule. They come in the house, they put their phone in the bucket to not let Heavenly know what's going on, right? So she assigned Toya for this task. And for them to understand how it makes it feel, how it makes them feel. Toya doesn't trust Heavenly with her feelings because what she will do is give a nice, nasty apology, but she wants to know, does Heavenly reflect on how she makes other people feel? Does she have any self-reflection about herself to know why we feel like this and how what you say about us makes us feel? But she also knows who Heavenly is, and she has no high expectation of that's going to happen. I'm not wasting my breath for an apology I'm not going to get. So the first person who came in the door was Anila, and Toya was assigned to tell people to come inside, put your phone in the bucket, and follow me. I have to. Where's your phone? My phone is in there, so follow me. So Anila complied, and everybody's wondering why Toya is answering the door. Probably because it wasn't such that long ago that Toya and Contessa were not on good terms. And now they're answering each other's doors. It's like that. I mean, yeah, things can happen. And Quad comes in, don't know why Toya's answering the door again. And she says, okay, you were supposed to come inside before you enter, put the phone in the bucket. Why? I was told to put the phone in the bucket so you can come in and understand what's going on. I'm not going to do that. Well, hey, it's your choice. If you do not want to put your phone in the bucket and comply, you can go ahead and go. Okay, I will go ahead and go. Contessa, your house looks nice. Good night and goodbye. So I don't know if Quad was joking when she said she would leave after Toya tell her, if you don't want to put your phone in the bucket, you can go ahead and go. It's okay. So Toya came in and said, I told Quad to put her phone in the bucket, and she didn't, so I told her bye. And Contessa and Simone was like, they're not going to work. We got to go get her. They run out in their heels, and Toya was left saying, it worked for me. I didn't have a problem telling her to go. I was cracking up laughing, seeing Toya so unbothered, so unfazed to tell somebody, if you don't like it, you can go. Okay? Just like that. It was hilarious to me. And then they found Quad in the driveway telling her, girl, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. No, but for real, you really don't need your phone. There's a reason for it. Okay, just trust me. It's my house. Come on, it's my house. Don't leave my house. So Jackie came in, and Toya did the same thing. You know, the rules are for everybody, and what makes you so special? Because she was told to put her phone in the bucket. Jackie said, can I keep my phone on the counter? You know, doctors need their phones on standby. You know what I'm saying? Any call could be an emergency. But when Toya told her, what makes you so special? That might have perturbed Jackie. And she said, oh, girl, no, don't do that. I don't think Toya understands what it means to be a doctor, okay? Because a MD is much of a better, higher level than an MRS. I just feel like, why y'all do that, though? Why y'all always come down on wives married to doctors as if being a wife of a doctor isn't something to be proud of? Like I said, I don't know if Jackie took that as shade, but girl, be a sport and just comply to what Contessa asked. It wasn't Toya doing this, it was Contessa asking you to. So since she wasn't gonna do it, Toya said, it's your choice though. It's your choice. You can have the answer to do it or not. She said, I will not, and said goodbye. So the same thing happened again. She told Simone and Contessa, I told Dr. Jackie, she said no. And then you got Simone running around in the yellow pumps saying, that's not going to work, girl. Toya is the wrong person to greet people at the door. We should not have had Toya do the door greeting. But Contessa assigned Toya for it. It was Contessa's idea. If you do not comply and put your phone in the bucket, you do not come in. But they gave Jackie a solution. You can put your phone on the counter, girl. It's okay. So then everybody goes to the theater room. And first of all, Contessa, that theater room, I live for. I love it, okay? That's what I want in my dream home. I want a theater room. And they're going to watch a movie. There's candles and wondering, why are we here? What is this about? So there are ways in addiction medicine that they call an intervention. Talking about how you could be mistreated by somebody or you dealt with mistreatment, but you never say anything about it. It never explains your boundaries. So you can't really hold them accountable for what you've done. If you never told them how you feel, you never said, I wish you wouldn't do this, you just let it go, and it never gets questioned, never gets checked, never gets understood. This is what it is. So this is an intervention for Heavenly's YouTube channel. And the only people who did not know about this was Anila, Jackie, and Quad. Quad was like, y'all some low down dirty people for this. Toya wanted to know why. Because she had no knowledge of this coming. She's going to think of it as an ambush. Contessa wanted it that way. So she's understanding of what the intervention is for, but the way it was done about it was wrong. Toya said her YouTube channel is an ambush to all of us, which is kind of true though. As Heavenly explains the show, she definitely throws in darts, throws in jabs. And it's awkward because everybody now knows why we're here. So when Heavenly comes in, she's going to look like, what the fuck is this? You know what I'm saying? But now Heavenly comes in. They're getting drinks together. There were notebooks everywhere for everybody to take notes. And then said, what are we watching? Watching a movie? What is this? You'll see. You'll see. So then we click play. And it was multiple clips of Heavenly going in on everybody. And I mean everybody. Everybody she's ever talked about, felt about, all of it. I'm talking about the ladies are lazy. I've seen them without their makeup. These ladies ain't got to try too hard. And of course, it's easy for her to go on Toya. Because she said, the only wives that don't do shit is Toya. She don't do shit. The only thing she did right was get a man. That's the only thing that she did was get a man. And then you just see Heavenly cracking up laughing. Oh my God. And it was kind of like the only person who laughs at their own jokes is themselves. Nobody was laughing. While it was kind of like 2 and 2. Shocked that she had to see this and know why she's seeing this, but she doesn't know that. So she's laughing at herself of going at other people. And she said, Heavenly's such a mean girl. And then it shows another clip where Quad was the topic of conversation, and Heavenly and Anila were throwing shade at her, talking about how Quad is insecure and that her face looks a little different, a little fat, a little full. And Anila added shade and said, that's what fillers would do to you. Fillers would do that to your face, though. And Quad was like, I ain't got no fillers. I don't do fillers, bitch. I'm the youngest bitch here, and I'm the prettiest bitch here. Know that, okay? Was not expecting for Anila to be a part of that. Was not expecting for her to be added to that. And she ended up being like, I do fillers too. I said, wow, Anila, you did not expect for you to be a part of that shit, huh? You was on live with Heavenly too about that. Then the accusation of Quad sleep with married men, and that Quad be butt ass naked in the club, and that all she hangs around with is married men. I don't know what she be doing. She be doing that. No, I ain't gonna say that. So of course that definitely hurt Quad that my friend would think of me that way. She said, I would never say that. These are things you don't do to your friends. Then it goes back to 4 years ago when Heavenly was talking about Curtis, how Curtis was cheating on Jackie. And, you know, you see Heavenly, oh my God, Jack, you can't get mad at that girl. That was 4 years ago. That hyena laugh that she doing. I was like, oh my God, Heavenly. And then it went to her talking to Anila. Is Anila smart? She said the bitch ain't smart. She even got a graduate degree. I was like, wow, Heavenly. Is this how you view women who don't do anything but marry doctors? Like, do you view women as dumb? As if they did not have schooling, they did not have education, and they just dumb themselves down to find a man? Like, I don't I was like, wow. And the only one who's laughing is Heavenly. She is just cackling. The only one doing it. Then it gets to Contessa. How Contessa has expressed that Scott has not changed in 10 years. And Heavenly had an opinion about it by saying, Grim, he's not going to change and he's not going to do nothing about it. Then just shut the fuck up and take it. Talking about how Scott does speak to Katoya wrong and the whole mentally abused thing happening right now. And then men will only do to you what you allow them to do. And she said that was facts. That was true. I ain't said nothing wrong then. So that was the only thing that Heavenly did defend, was that she was looking at Contessa and Scott's marriage for what it was. You are hurting. Your marriage isn't good. And you're blaming it on me. But I'm telling you what you need to do. And if you're not going to do anything about it, then shut the fuck up. Okay? So now that was over. After all that hackling that Heavenly did, now she wants to say, so this is what we doing? Contessa, we ain't saying nothing about 5 months. You want to do this to me now? In front of everybody? Contessa said, I'm sorry. In front of who? I did this in front of everybody, or you did this in front of everybody? I mean to everybody. No, that was you. You decided to go on your channel and talk about my business on YouTube. That's what you did. So it wasn't me. And that's when Toya came in and said, you need to stay out of her marriage, stay out of my marriage, because what you're saying is trifling as fuck, Heavenly, and you're wrong. And here go Heavenly. When she's called out for what she said, she throws back and be even more nasty and said, you're mad because they told me that Eugene said you were the worst mistake he ever made? I would have like, bitch, are you fucking serious? If I had enough coop in me, I would have went down and dirty and talked about Dr. Damon, and she wouldn't like that. Because I feel like, how nasty can you be, Heavenly? Why would that be the first thing you would say to another woman that her husband said he never wanted to marry her? And I don't believe that Eugene feels that way. I don't. But it always hurts for you. I can't. So the fact that she will hurt another woman by saying that about her own husband and defended it with saying, I thought it was funny. I mean, everybody has talked about each other on their platform. Yes, Heavenly, they have. But the way you go about it, you go too far. And it wasn't funny. It wasn't funny. And then Contessa is crying. She's emotional. My marriage isn't funny. My marriage is not funny. And then Heavenly goes outside, talks to Contessa alone. And they said, you waited 5 months, tell me shit on camera, on 5 months on camera? Really, Contessa? Really, Tess? Really, Tess? I was like, well, Heavenly, you be in your closet on camera too. It's not that different though. So then Heavenly thought hugging her would have handled it, but it didn't. I'm letting you know right now, this is not funny. This is not funny. I have never done this to you. And you go back to what I tell you for clicks and likes. That's what you decide to do. And I feel like Contessa might have confided more into how her marriage was going with Scott, and maybe how Contessa was feeling, that Heaven decided to go on YouTube and express her opinions about it, which could have been a slap in the face. But Contessa, you opened that door to talk about your marriage on camera, which led to a floodgate of millions of opinions to come about. If you did not want people to talk about your marriage, don't show it on camera. But that also goes for Heavenly too. If I'm not talking about this on camera, you shouldn't have anything else to say on your channel. So a whole lot of back and forth. And I already said that part about don't open your marriage up to the public. And I will never do that again. I will never tell you anything about my relationship ever again. So she said, fuck you, Heavenly. Simone's trying to get everything to calm down. She's separating Contessa from Heavenly. Contessa's ready to go at Heavenly. And of course, you know, Heavenly is not a fighter. And Contessa is built to fight. So Simone is trying to separate them. And talking about how my marriage is funny. You see all this shit I built for the last 16 years? It's not funny. So trying to get Heavenly to calm down. Jackie tells her, stop slinging negativity, stop slinging dirt. I know you're hurt, but you need to calm down. Anila in the background saying, after what they just did, Anila, girl, you got called out. Don't cover it up by trying to be on Heavenly's side right now. You got called up talking shit as well, so be quiet.
No, come back.
And basically, Heavenly is like, if our friendship is over because I gave you good advice and your husband got better and your marriage was great, then that's all good. But it's still not cool for you to do, Heavenly. And then how YouTube is not the way to go. This wasn't the way to go. And then she finally takes off that ugly ass wig off her head and say, give her this shit back. Then Heavenly calls someone a flip-flopping bitch, Toya a dumbass, y'all started this shit. I said, Heavenly, go. Like, this is not funny, Heavenly. It's really not, okay? So then we see a conversation between Anila, Toya, Quad, and Jackie that what happened wasn't supposed to happen, okay? And it was the point, you know, the Quad felt like the point was not just getting through to Heavenly, it was getting Heavenly for coming at her for everything she's ever said about everyone and to everyone. Now, it was needed. The way it was about it, though, wasn't right. And does Heavenly find it a problem? Does she look at it as, I need to fix myself? Or she feels like they just want to say, fuck Heavenly, fuck Heavenly, fuck Heavenly. And it's like the whole point. She's dragging everybody. That's the point. So wanting Heaven to understand how you could say a lot of mean, hurtful things. And do you understand how it comes out of your mouth so venomous? And do you not understand how it makes us feel? How do you expect to have friends if at any given point, this is how you talk about us? This is how you feel about us. You really feel like this about us though, right? How can we move forward and trust in you with our feelings about anything if you're going to come at us and drag us like this? And of course, like what I said, while the things that she said came out of her mouth, nobody made her say those things. But the way it was about it wasn't effective because she doesn't look at it as, I need to change. She doesn't look at it as, I need to do better. She's going to look at it as if, oh, it's on now, it's war. But next episode going to be interesting. I want to know, where does the apology come at? Who does she think is owed an apology? And then the whole fight that might happen between Eugene and Kieran, and the antics between Anila and Kieran towards Eugene and Toya. I can't wait for that. But y'all, that's it. That's all I have. Please stay tuned for this video, and I'm going to see you guys later. Bye.